Good morning, my dear students. Now I am discussing the topic is transmission of impulses. This is Sriram, Next Level Biology, MSc, AP Set. Transmission of impulses. Transmission of impulses. That is the topic. I am taking one neuron. I draw it on the blackboard. This is the neuron 1. And I am taking another neuron. So on blackboard I draw two neurons. This is the first neuron. This is the second neuron. This is a gap present between the two neurons is called synapse. This is the terminals, axon terminals. Axon terminals. These are the dendrites. Dendrites. Synapse is a gap. That gap is occurs or seen in between the two neurons. One neuron axon terminal is participated and another neuron dendrites are participated here for forming this junction. This neuron is said to be as a presynaptic neuron. This neuron is said to be as the presynaptic neuron. This neuron is the postsynaptic neuron. Question. Synapse occurs between two neurons. Another question. Synapse occurs between presynaptic neuron, postsynaptic neuron. Question number 3. Synapse is formed between presynaptic neuron, axon terminal, postsynaptic neuron, dendrites. Synapses are divided into two kinds. They are chemical synapse and electrical synapse. Chemical synapse, electrical synapse. Here go toward that proximity, gap present between the two neurons. This is the neuron and this is the another neuron. This is the gap, proximity. Here one neuron and this is the another neuron. See here proximity. Proximity between the two neurons is very close. Electrical synapse, proximity between two neurons. Proximity between two neurons are close. Chemical synapse, proximity between the two neurons is not close. Here, action potential is traveled unidirectionally. There is no bidirectional movement. Here, rarely action potential is moving bidirectional also. In chemical synapse, there is that movement of action potential is always unidirectional. In electrical synapse, It may be sometimes bidirectional. Sometimes may be bidirectional. These type of synapses are seen very rare in human beings. This area of chemical synapse, this is the chemical synapse. This area is called chemical synapse, also said to be as synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft is said to be as the structural gap and functional bridge between the two neurons. I am taking one neuron. This is the neuron 1, axon terminal. This is the neuron 2, dendrites. This is the neuron 1, this is the neuron 2. This is the gap. This gap is said to be as synaptic cleft. This gap is said to be as synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft is fluid filled space. It is a fluid filled space. Again I am saying, what is the structural gap and functional bridge between the two synapses is called synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft is filled with fluid. It is a fluid filled gap. Here, this is the axon. This is the one nerve cell having axon. These are the telodendrites or axon terminals. These are the synaptic boutons. Synaptic boutons are having synaptic vesicles. These are the synaptic vesicles. These synaptic vesicles are having the chemical transmitters called acetylcholine. They are having chemical transmitters or neurotransmitters are here. And I am saying this is the nerve cell. This is the axon fiber. Axon fiber having axon terminal. Terminals are exhibited synaptic knobs. They call it as the synaptic knobs. Synaptic knobs are having synaptic vesicles. Synaptic vesicles are having neurotransmitters. They are having neurotransmitters. Whenever the action potential is propagated, this action potential is jumping from here to the next neuron. That is jumping from this neuron to this neuron. Always action potential jump from one neuron to another neuron through this gap. Here, these vesicles liberating the neurotransmitters are moving here through this membrane. Up to this membrane they get be traveled. These neurotransmitters are liberated. These neurotransmitters come towards that ending part of the membrane and they get be liberated exocytosis, and they touch with the receptors of another neuron. This is the another neuron. This is the another neuron. Here it is come and touches to the receptors of the next neuron. It is having receptors. It is having receptors. Then action potential is moving like this. Again I am saying, whenever the action potential is travels through the fiber, then they want to jump from here to there. Through gap they get be jumped. And that time chemical transmitters are needed. Chemical transmitters are liberated from the synaptic vesicles. They traveled up to the ending portion of the bouton. Then these substance causing The substance is go and touches with the binding site of an next neuron. Likewise, the jumping is occurs. The jumping of these action potential is said to be as the conduction of an action potential. During conduction, some action potentials are having capacity to conduct depolarization in the next nerve cell. Here, for example, I am taking one action potential and I am taking second action potential, blue color I am taking, and the third action potential I am taking a red. So here action potentials get be moving from this zone to this zone. Some of the action potential, for example, I am taking black wave, it is having more capacity. It get be depolarized the next nerve cell, that is good. But go for the blue color wave and red color wave are not ability to cause depolarization in a next nerve cell, they get be dissoluted here. Again I am saying waves, that is that action potentials which are moving from this nerve cell to this nerve cell, that action potential should be having capacity to conduct action potential in the next nerve cell, that is good thing. Otherwise there is that action potential, this go to that one to another, they does not be able to conduct action potential, they get to be dissoluted. That potentials which causing the action potentials and in a next nerve cell causing depolarization, they are said to be as excitatory action potentials. Not able to conduct action potential, they are said to be as inhibitory action potentials. Here there is the different types of neurotransmitters are liberated. Common neurotransmitter is acetylcholine. There is the common neurotransmitter. Common neurotransmitter is called acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the common neurotransmitter. There is a inhibitory neurotransmitters are there. They are gamma aminobarbutric acid, GABA, and glycine are the inhibitory hormones. Both excitatory and inhibitory, hormones are epinephrine, dopamine, serotonin, are the neurohormones meant for both inhibitory and excitatory. Again I am saying neurotransmitters are divided into three kinds. Common neurotransmitter, acetylcholine, that is a common thing. Only for inhibitory, gamma aminobarbutric acid, GABA, and glycine. For both excitatory and inhibitory, there is examples are epinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. I think this information is benefit to you for reading the chapter conduction of nerve impulses, transmission of nerve impulses in a great path, I think. If you like it, please subscribe my channel, and all the best my dear students. Thank you very much. Thank you. Please subscribe my channel.